So Peter, with May 2018 coming close, what initial actions should firms be taking?
Yeah, there are a number of measures that really businesses need to start thinking about. Not least because it's a significant development, the GDPR. Right. The clock's ticking, and it could well mean that there are a lot of policies, procedures need updating. Mm-hmm. You may need to throw some resources at it. It may include some budget, some cash.
Yes.
So there's a lot to think about. So what do they need to do now?
Mm-hmm.
I think initially, first of all, make sure that there is a proper awareness in the business
right.
that the regulations are coming and what they mean.
Okay.
And that should be at board level. So the board, management, senior management need to be aware of the main implications of GDPR, mm-hmm. what it means for them, what they might need to do. And in particular because they may feel, look, we need to set up a project team
right.
To bring the appropriate resources together to try and look at what we need to do over the coming months to meet the deadline in May 2018. So awareness is the key thing, remembering it's a board level issue this. Right. The board have to be fully behind it. It will be their responsibility at the end of the day, so it's a key thing. I think the next thing really is to, thinking about how you comply with it. You're going to have to look at your information that you're actually processing. GDPR is about personal data, so you really need to conduct some sort of information audit within the business to fully establish what data you're actually keeping, what the purpose of that data is, who's responsible for it, what is it for, where do you transfer it to, how do you secure it, who else can access it. You need to really look at all your data, because before you know what you've got and what you're doing with it, it's going to be difficult to put all the additional aspects into place. So that's key. Following, of course, the information, but you need to be thinking, even with regard to your current arrangements, whether your privacy notices are sufficient, because there are a lot of changes with the requirements there. More information needs to go in. So review your privacy notices. Your consent, have a look at how you're receiving consent to process data at the moment. Is that adequate? Is that acceptable and up to the GDPR standard? Maybe, may not be. But in conjunction with your information audit, these are the things you need to look at. You need to consider whether you need a data protection officer formally.
Yep.
There are requirements in the GDPR. Under certain circumstances, you will need to appoint a data protection officer. So that will create resources, a governance structure. That's why the board needs to be aware of it. So that if you process highly sensitive information on a large scale, you will have to appoint one. If you're a public authority, you will have to appoint one. If you've got systematic monitoring large data, personal data, you will need to appoint one. So you need to consider that. Data security, is your data security up to scratch? One of the principles is to keep the data secure. You must be up to date with the security arrangements in terms of antivirus, malware and all that type of thing. Business recovery as well. It goes a little bit further, the GDPR. It talks about resilience and sustainability of the service that you're offering and the availability of data. So there's a lot in data security. Plus breach management. If you're going to have to report breaches to the ICO, you must have a system that identifies a breach, reports the breach, and that considers how you handle that. And is it something that you need to notify to the Information Commissioner's Office? Think about, when you're in conjunction with the information audit as well, you need to think about, is our data processing high risk? Because if it is, you may be obliged to conduct privacy impact assessments. So if it's high risk, we're talking about if you're handling categories of sensitive data, special categories of data, criminal records, for example, you would almost certainly then be needing to prepare privacy impact assessments on an ongoing basis. So that's key. So I mean, that's just a flavour. I think that when you go through them like that, you think, wow, there's a lot to do. So I think my suggestion to businesses is start looking at this now, because May 2018 isn't far away.
That's right, and it's interesting. Something like, if you are high risk and you haven't even evaluated it, then you're not going to be looked upon very kindly. if
I
something
think
goes
that's
wrong.
absolutely it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, they'll take a view on
Yeah.
how you've handled things,
Yeah.
and if you're making efforts to comply, where you need a privacy impact assessment, you're doing that. That's all well and good. Yeah. But if you've not made the moves, that will be a black mark, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks very much.